Hi everyone, my name is Orhun. I'm part of Investigators alumni. So I'm an alumni now. I graduated from a one-year training program, which was a great experience. My topic today, everybody in our cohort made a small-scale research and learned how to do research on sexual health. And I chose HIV testing frequency among men who have sex with men population. One reason that I chose this topic was that I identify as gay man as well, and also I would like to know what is the relationship between anal sex positions, MSM identify, and the frequency of HIV testing, if there is a correlation between those two variables. Because I know that like bottoming, topping, or versatile positions are some of the discussion topics that we as gay men always kind of joke around. We kind of talk about it in a fun way, etc., with memes and everything. But actually, it's also discussed in when it comes to HIV testing. And my question is there a correlation between the anal sex positions and the frequency of HIV testing? And then my first hypothesis, or you can say assumption, was that since there's a known higher risk in transmission of HIV during bottoming, bottoms would be expected to go to testing more and will be more aware of the risk. And the second one was that most of the MSM who do not engage in anal sex did not report HIV testing. So we're talking about a group of gay identified men who wouldn't engage in anal sex. So my assumption is that their number would be less compared to others to, go to HIV testing. So the need for this research is, of course, I'm a gay man, and also I'm aware that the HIV transmission is also higher among gay men. And also, I would like to know how people report their anal sex position, and how if there's a relation between their choice to go to the testing clinic and then their preferences. So we use SexNow survey questions. I used 2 questions to get my results, 41 and 878. So first question was, when were you last tested for HIV? The answers were less than 3 months, more than 3 months, or never. The question 78, what's been your anal sex position in the past 6 months? This included top, only, mostly top, mostly bottom, only top, only bottom, and versatile. Or the other question was, I never had sex, anal sex. So mostly top and only top, I collected them into only one category as top to make the research easier to conduct. And when it comes to mostly bottom and only bottom, I collected them into one bottom category. And I also have the other category, which includes the people who haven't engaged in anal sex, or who do not choose, or who do not want to report in anal sex positions. Frequency, so I would like to see frequency options with the question 41. And then we used an R program, and then we learned how to code the data from SexNow survey, and then how to interpret that data. Let's go on. So as you can see, As you can see here bottom top, and then the first one is versatile, and then the a little bit smaller one is the other one. And then you can see the frequency. I also they separated the frequency into two categories: more than 6 months, less than 6 months. So if you see the versatile population, you can see their frequency to go to HIV testing before 6 months is more than all the other populations. And when you look at the bottoms and tops, there is no specific or significant difference between them. And then when you look at the other category, the people who report not having anal sex, they also, surprisingly actually, a good number of them, 42% of them, report going to HIV testing, although they do not engage or they never engaged in anal sex. So statistically speaking, there was no specific direction or correlation between sexual positions and HIV testing frequency. But of course, the most recent research also showed that versatile people have been testing more than. And also, like for my research, people who report as mostly tops or only tops, surprisingly chose reported that they go to clinics. Like the data showed that they go to clinics more often than the bottoms. But then this is not according to this small scale research, of course, this is not a significant correlation. One other interesting thing is that the other group also quite nice majority of them, not majority, but important part of them said that they go to testing frequently, right? Which is like less than 6 months. So that's why we can understand people may have other reasons to go to HIV testing. So it doesn't seem to depend on the frequency of their anal sex or the fact that whether they ever engage in anal sex or not. It's close to my finishing time, and then I'm in conclusion. But of course, the other important thing is that, like the other reason that I was doing this research was because we actually never talked about how the discussion of anal sex positions or how the discussion of gay men's sexual health and their anal sex position mean for their own health. So how sometimes it's like very medicalized. Sometimes it is quite only taken as part of this medicalized discourse. So I kind of try to bring up how people actually consider, reporting to go into HIV clinics and etc. And of course, there must be other factors too. Some people maybe do not have the means to go to testing, or maybe they are not aware of sexual health that much. So there are other socioeconomic, cultural factors there should be. But of course, this small scale research only shows kind of the surface of the data. So that's why there must be other types of research, the research. Like we need to have the other data to test the frequency and the correlation better. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening to me. Yeah.